I'm here tonight with Corey Hensley. You grew up surrounded with music. What types of music did you grow up with?
Well, when I was born, I was literally born into a traveling gospel music ministry. My mom and dad had a 7-piece country band, quartet, and a full band, the whole thing. So, they did that for the better part of 3 or 4 years after I was born, and they went ahead and kind of gave that up, and probably when I was 3 or 4, something like that, I guess. We always sang around the house, always had something going on, singing in churches and different things. So it was always something that I was around and exposed to, so naturally I picked up on it. And, there generally wasn't a time where anywhere in my childhood where some sort of music wasn't present or being made pretty close to me.
Your first instrument was a guitar.
It was.
What was your first song, and who taught you to play it?
Well, my dad taught me how to play, and basically my first song, I don't even know where it came from. I mean, still to this day, in those days as there are now, there's a lot of the local or more localized gospel bands will cover different songs from the more popular artists and things like that. But the song was. Basically the lyric to the song was, "I've never been there, but I know enough to keep me pressing on." And one of those songs we played a lot of, 3 chords and the truth kind of thing. So we were able to do that, and Dad taught me how to play that stuff. And he only taught me 3 chords. He taught me G, C, and D, and left me alone. And and I kind of came to the realization that if I was going to get any better at it, then I was going to have to pick it up on my own. So that's kind of how that started.
Did you play music in school? Or?
I did. Funny enough, I was actually a drumliner in school. I didn't have the least bit of interest in any kind of a wind instrument or anything like that, but I'd always beat mom's pots and pans to death and things like that. So, when the time came, which at that time was 5th grade, she bought me a snare drum, and I started in doing drumline, and I marched from when I got into high school, or junior high rather, at 7th grade. I marched all the way through my senior year, so I was a drumliner.
Okay. You worked with a lot of the best musicians out there. Who would you like to work with in 2017?
Man, whoever's got the biggest checkbook. My rule of professional music is if you'll pay, I'll play. So, and you're right. I've been very blessed in my career to have worked with basically the who's who of not only gospel and bluegrass but country as well. And it's been it's kind of been a whirlwind, and we got to do a lot of cool things and know a lot of cool people. But at this point, I'm actually talking to you from Texarkana, Texas. I'm out with the legendary the Blackwood Brothers Quartet. It's a very legendary quartet in Southern gospel, a lot of history. They were the guys that hired J.D. Sumner, who a lot of people on the gospel end know. So I'm out for 2 weeks working with them and having a blast. Just one of those good old 2-week hurry up and wait and run your butt off kind of tours. But this Christmas season, I'll be working with John Barry, who's a country artist from the early '90s. He had a couple of hits, "Standing on the Edge of Goodbye" and "Your Love Amazes Me" are the 2 that people most remember him from. So I'll actually be doing front of house sound engineering for him. I've been out with him for a few shows already, and we'll be doing this Christmas tour with him. But As far as 2017, I kind of the way I kind of look at it is the future remains unwritten. So whatever opportunity comes up, I just pray for the vigilance to be able to walk through the doors that God opens.
Okay. What inspired you to own your own studio?
Well, when I was in my teens, I started learning the ins and outs of studio recording and things like that from the Bluegrass Gospel band that I was a part of with my dad and my best friend and a good family friend. And I kind of got interested in the fact that, you had more than one try at something. And, and a lot of the things that went into place with that. And back at that time, a lot of people were working on ADATs and 2-inch tape and things like that. We hadn't moved quite into the digital age that we are now. But I kind of got separated from that when everything went to Pro Tools and Cubase and that kind of Steinberg and the modern digital audio workstations that we have now. And then probably about, 7 or 8 years ago, I kind of, a friend of mine had a student copy of Pro Tools, and he said, here, I've got an extra license, check this out and work with it a little bit, tell me what you think. And I was just amazed at how far technology had progressed and what you were able to do versus then. And it was just, it kind of renewed that drive in me to kind of learn more about it and, how to perfect tone and all the things that go into place. So, doing that, I don't think there's a musician that's never ever messed with trying to record themselves. I think every musician has struck a chord, has tried to record themselves at some point or another. And, as you well know, some of them are better than others. I got to the point and got to learn from some of the best in the business about how to do these things, and was able to start making records for myself. And along the way, some people had asked me to do some recordings and things like that for them, and that's just kind of how that progressed. So it's I'm not too terribly busy. I probably do 10, 15 projects a year, something like that, which with a touring schedule and things like that, it's busy enough. But it's as busy as I want to be, and I do. On the opposite side of that, I do a lot of things like a lot of old people have a bunch of cassettes laying around and 78s and 45s and 8 tracks and things like that. So I got the machine work, and the ability to take those and cross those into the digital workstations and be able to remaster a lot of those things and a lot of those. And you remember the days of the handheld tape recorders and things where you just press a record button, and a lot of people have a lot of home memories and things like that. And one particular was a lady from my church, and her father was a preacher, and she only had one message. She had nothing whatsoever of his spoken voice. And she had this one tape, and it literally sounded like they were riding on top of a train going down the road. And with the progressions in modern recording and restorations and things like that, I was able to take that and take all the background noise out of it and all that stuff and remaster it. And she had nothing but tears when she heard her dad's voice, because that's literally the only thing that she has left of him. And so, there's a lot of rewards in place for that.
Okay. Do you have any singles or albums coming out for next year?
Well, I don't have anything currently that I've released per se. I did have a manager and a booking agent for a while, and was trying to do my own band thing, and that just didn't seem to be working out the way we both like it to be. So we just kind of decided to pull the plug on that. At this point, I have 2 CDs available. Both of them are gospel. One is more of a full band, and the other one is a hymns record that's kind of scaled down considerably. just to a guitar or a keyboard or something like that, and my voice, of course. But I toyed with the notion of maybe doing something traditional country or something like that. It's kind of the thing. If it's my dime, I can kind of make what I want to, but at the same time, I kind of listen to what people like and what people would like to hear from me. So on my Facebook page, I do poll people quite a bit and ask them what they would like to hear, what they'd like to hear more of, less of, kind of thing.
I know a lot of people liked your that Vince Gill cover, that the video.
Yeah. Oh man, and that's the stuff like that. Man, I love Vince, and I don't know anybody who's been around and that don't. He's a great guy. He's been great to me, but to just sit down and he's got that instantly recognizable vocal, and he's had some of and written quite a bit of just some of the best songs that you'll ever hear, and so just messing around kind of thing, just sat down and recorded one of his songs, and a lot of people took a liking to it, so I was very, very fortunate to have that.
Where can people go and see your music, videos, and tour dates?
The best place that you can catch up with me is on Facebook. I do my artist page, of course, is Corey, Corey Hensley, Hensley, where you can go. I think it's www.facebook.com/Corey Hensley Music, I believe, is the URL for that. They can catch basically anything music related that's going on with me, and I'll admittedly say that I haven't kept up with it as much here lately because I've been busy as I have, but there'll be a lot of cool stuff coming in the future, and anywhere that I'm going to be, I'm actually going to probably tonight post the remainder of this tour, for the people out in Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Kansas. I've made a lot of friends out this way as well, that they can, come and see me and, not necessarily see me, but see the Blackwood Brothers and, come say hey, that kind of thing. But that's probably the best place that anyone can reach out to me.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on the show today. And
well,
really
my pleasure.
Enjoyed it.
My pleasure. I apologize for all the reschedules, and I'm glad we got to make it work.